Welcome back to the City Street Finance Report training videos. In this segment, we're going to look at the Equipment Inventory Sheet. The Iowa Administrative Code, Chapter 178, requires cities to report the cost of purchasing, leasing, or renting equipment that is used for maintenance and/or construction work on roads, streets, culverts, bridges, etc., as well as the use of such equipment on construction, reconstruction, or improvement projects within the city. Equipment is only reported on this tab if it is used for street work and it is one of the following. It is self-propelled, it is motorized, or it is not self-propelled, but it had an initial cost of over $5,000. Equipment that is not self-propelled but is used exclusively for snow or ice removal does not need to be reported. This means plow blades that are $8,000 or slide-in sanding units, those type of things don't get reported. So what kind of things do get reported? Definitely city trucks, dump trucks, skid loaders, end loaders, tractors, anything you're out using to do maintenance or construction on your city streets. So let's look at the Equipment tab. For this year, you will need to re-enter your previously existing equipment as we were unable to bring in your previous equipment list from the old report format. To add equipment, select Add a New Row. When you select Add a New Row, a new equipment box pops open for you, and you are able to enter your information. The City Equipment ID is your identifier. It might be whatever you're calling your city vehicles. If you have more than one of the same thing, maybe they are identified by 1, 2, 3. Maybe they are identified by ABC. You may or may not have an identifier for each of your vehicles, and you are welcome to leave this box blank if you do not use an identifier for your equipment. The next box, enter the model year of your equipment, and then the description of your equipment. The better description that you give it, the easier it is to find in your list and the more helpful it is once the list is created. For example, if you have a skid loader, it is more helpful to put in the full description of the size or horsepower of the skid loader, including the model and brand, rather than just saying either skid loader or Mustang. Next, you need to select the ownership type. Did you purchase this piece of equipment, or is it being rented or leased? If you are leasing this piece of equipment with an ultimate goal of owning it at the end, so it is a lease to own, please select Purchase and put in the total cost that you're going to pay over the course of the lease so that it shows the actual amount of that piece of equipment once you have it in your possession. The next line, you will enter either the purchase cost for that piece of equipment or the annual cost. If you are renting it, put in what you paid annually, or leasing it, what you paid annually. Or if it is something you purchased, please put in that initial purchase cost. The next box is a drop-down, and it wants to know if it was used on a road project during this fiscal year. You'll remember from doing the project section that a project is either construction, reconstruction, or improvement of a road, street, bridge, etc. within your community that costs more than 90% of the bid threshold. Remember, those bid thresholds are different by population. So under 50,000 and over 50,000 have a different bid threshold. The bid thresholds for this year are 45,000 for your towns under 50,000 and 62,800 for all of you communities above 50,000 people. If it was used on a road project during this year, please select yes, even if that project is not complete and is not being reported on the Project tab. The final box is Equipment Status. Please select from the list the most appropriate status for your piece of equipment. If you are entering a piece of equipment that you purchased during a previous year, just to get it back into the list, you can label it as no change. Once you are finished, click Save. In future years, the report will come pre-populated with any equipment that you have previously entered. To change the status of a piece of equipment, click Edit and select the different status. You may also edit any other changes or corrections that you need to make on that piece of equipment with the same process. Once your list is complete, you can move on to the next tab of the report.